comparison profile of two salespeople by video, because I'm using my own strengths as a hunter to do this spontaneously and trial new technology. I have labelled both of the people just by their initials for the sake of confidentiality. M is in category 2 and is well within the standard profile, or just within, I should say, the standard preferred profile for a hunter. His EXP is just on the border of 68%, which means he's just within that range of being able to prospect consistently. He will need some support to do that, but there is hope and there is an expectation that he can do that. Whereas Jay has fallen below that line, not by much though. So the difference isn't sort of really huge on that issue. But if you look at the colour spread across the rest of the profiles, they are quite different. So where M is green, J is blue, and often vice versa. So they do have quite different strengths. Now, if this is a partnership of people who've worked together before and have a history of relying on each other's strengths, then you'll be able to sit them down and explain what their strengths related to selling are, and they should be able to constructively use that information. But if these people know each other really well but have never worked together before, then you're going to battle getting them to use the new knowledge, because they'll have behavioural patterns which are established outside of work that may contradict what we would like them to do or how it might help them to be in the sales field. So given that M has objectivity in the green, that means that they will be able to prioritise and qualify in the moment when they're out with the client. So being able to close is something you need to be able to qualify in the moment, whether you stay and push for that tiny bit more because there is some realistic expectation that this situation is closable, or whether you should politely and graciously leave because now is not the time that this sale is going to close, and you don't want to destroy your ability to come back by being inappropriate today. Now, with objectivity, in the yellow, this person is like Jay is more likely to leave too early rather than stay too long. So the ability to qualify a prospect, whether a buyer or a vendor, is not as strong, and the tendency is usually to underestimate your chances of making it happen, so that they will tend to leave too early. So there isn't any danger of them being overly pushy and inappropriately demanding or pushy. Yep. So with resourceful and self-reliant and objective organisation in the blue, M is definitely destined to be the listing agent. So, and confidence and job focus also in the blue. That means M is more likely to be willing and also able to improvise in situations that are unknown and new, like talking to strangers in their own homes about huge life decisions. Now, because M's rapport and communications are green, that means in the early days, M will struggle with the words and the sentences and phraseology for being a listing agent. But with time and practice, we'll get that. So that's not a long-term issue, that's a short-term training issue. Now, Jay, on the other hand, with rapport and communications in the blue, is likely to be able to spontaneously work through what to say and how to gain rapport and be able to judge the reactions of people well enough to adjust their communications with strangers and in the moment. So not being destined to be a listing agent, that would be nevertheless quite handy when talking to strangers when they come for the open for inspection. So Jay will, in that sense, be equally good and comfortable and capable of running the opens by themselves. And that with EXP not overly low, they will still be able to do the buyer follow-ups, because that's not really cold calling. We met them yesterday or this morning at the open. They gave us, the buyers gave us their number with the expectation that we would ring them. So that's totally not a cold call, and expectations being that low, that should still be well within Jay's comfort level. So we've done a happy, spontaneous, or she's been happy and spontaneous at the open, chatting to strangers, and then well within her comfort range to ring them up afterwards. Now, so that would make them a classical listing agent, M listing, J doing buyers and opens. The only other thing to look out for in terms of their differences of style is their job focus and confidence. So they are the opposites of each other in those two fields. Now, job focus means that M believes the job is finished when the objective is obtained, and J thinks that the job is finished when all the tasks required are finished. So project management style thinking. So they are going to clash and argue on that point. So M is going to pack up and go home thinking, right, I've made that sale, I'm off. And Jay will be going, no, wait, we haven't finished the paperwork. Now, from a management point of view, that's a delightful clash. But from their own personal point of view, that's something you need to explain to them, is their differences. And I think in this case, a strength. So if we're doing, if Jay is doing buyer follow-up and more the administrative backup part, then being concerned about whether the documents all got completed correctly is a fabulous difference. And the confidence, the other thing that's different between them, though the gap between them is not very big, is M is going to be more confident with the unknown, dealing with the unknown, and Jay is going to be better at, be more confident to engage when all of the available information is ready and clear. So that's not sort of really very important, a difference, especially with that smaller difference. But it is something that they will notice, that M will be ready to race off faster, more confident to race off into the unknown earlier with less preparation than J. So if they're working together, that's something that might irritate each other, especially that's most likely to irritate J, who's going to think, no, we're not ready to start, and M will be going, yeah, sure we are, let's go. So the more they understand those differences, the less irritating they will be. And then they can use those differences in a proactive and conscious manner. Thanks, bye.